This is VSiN Final Countdown with Stormy Buonantony and Matt Brown on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome in to VSiN Final Countdown. Stormy Buonantony and Matt Brown with you live from our VSiN studio at the South Point. And because our wonderful friend Matt here absolutely loves trends.
Love them.
Loves trends, loves streaks. We're going to do something I like to call, we're going streaking, where we are looking at a number of NFL trends and streaks and seeing if they continue or come to an end this week. And listen, yes, when I say streaking, please keep your clothes on, people. I don't need to see anything gross. Don't slide in the DMs. I mean, if you do slide into Matt's,
they're open. So I mean, like, there is that. I will also like to give the preamble to this, that I am wholeheartedly against this segment. I think that this is the worst one that we've ever done on this show, and hopefully this dies after today.
Well, we'll see if you give me any reason. So what I'm hoping to evoke from you here is that you give your opinion on the game and give me an evaluation of whether or not the streak is meaningful or meaningless. Okay, so we are going streaking here, starting with the Buccaneers. Have not covered in 5 straight games. Streaking or not streaking?
Well, I mean, this is basically, do you think that they win or not? Because it's a point and a half, like this one. So, I mean, this is basically, do you believe that the Bucs are going to win at home in this game against the Ravens? I mean, listen, a lot of this has to do with this injury report. I mean, it is, a few different beat writers have come on and said, like,
these might be a little legit here. Okay.
This is looking a little shady here. So we are certainly going to have a big Wednesday when it comes to this injury report, because this Ravens team, this line could flip. I mean, like, that's how important all these players are. Like this line could flip if 2 of these guys end up, like, not playing, you know.
Tom Brady, 11-2 straight up on Thursday. 11-1 ATS as a home dog. Just cementing more trends and streaks for you in this one as we are going streaking. Okay, keep that one in your back pocket. The Jags have not covered in 4 straight games. Jags taking on the Broncos. 3.5 the spread in London. 2.5, excuse me, 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 over in London town. Listen, I think that this Broncos team is equal to the Jags.
Equal?
Like, I know, I don't want to, like, so how about this? If this were 3, I would say that this continues, because I would say that the Broncos could keep this game with it inside of a field goal, right? But since it's 2.5, the Jags not covering in 4 straight games will be extended to 5 straight games.
Okay.
Because they will not be able to cover the 2.5.
So we're going streaking.
There it is. Yes.
That's how you have to do it. Come on.
Yes.
Play ball here. The Raiders have hit the over and covered the spread in 3 straight games. They are at your New Orleans Saints this week.
I do not like the Raiders to cover in this thing. Just, that is this is one of the, again, a stay away game for me anyway, so I'm not going to be playing this game. I do think the over is very live in this game. Like, I think that there's going to be a lot of high variance in this thing.
It's already been bet up from 48.5 to 50.
Yeah. Like, I don't really care who plays quarterback for the Saints, even though they still won't name who's going to play quarterback for the Saints. But I think there's, pretty high variance in this thing. The Saints defense that was supposed to be fairly good this year. It wasn't supposed to be as good as last year, but it was supposed to be at least, a top 12-ish type, is not even close to that. So I think this Raiders team can have some decent success on the offensive side of the ball. The problem is weirdly the Saints have figured out, no matter who plays, how to score. Like, they've been able to move the ball, even though they got beat, by the Cardinals. Like, they still score. They still move the ball up and down the field.
Can anyone stop Taysom Hill in some of those, goal-to-go situations? Like, because from
a fantasy perspective, like, I mean, it's a betting show, but from a fantasy perspective, if you, took this little flyer late round on Taysom Hill and you could play him as a tight end, and then now he's just does whatever he does every single week, like, you got so lucky.
Rack up the points,
you got
my
so
friend.
Incredibly lucky. I think that this is, I'm going to say no on this streak.
Okay, the Cardinals have stayed under the total in 5 straight. They are at our Minnesota Vikings this week.
Yes.
Total. Oh, yeah? Under?
We're going to streak.
Under streak continues.
The streak continues. We are, in fact, going streaking here.
Close on.
Yes, yes, we're going to stay under in this thing because, look, this Cardinals team looked really good on a short week against a completely injury-ravaged Saints team, right? And, like, it is one of those deals where they got, like, the exact right flow of everything to get that offensive explosion. Let's also remember, there was a pick six in there. There was almost another pick. No, there's 2 pick sixes in that game. Like, so the scoring from the Cardinals wasn't all just from the offensive standpoint. You know, like, there was some defensive stuff there, some short fields with the turnovers from the Saints. So I don't think that we got a full display of this Cardinals team. And, like, look, this Viking squad, as much as we love them, they will play a little close to the vest at times. Like, they will play a little more conservatively than we would like them to, even with O'Connell at coach, which I thought we would get rid of that when Zimmer left, but that hasn't been the case so far. So I think we stay under the 49.
So, you know, and this doesn't have anything to do with the streaking portion of this, but the thing that's interesting to me about the Vikings is last season when they were in a lot of those games, they were losing on the second half of them, right? It's been ugly to watch in a lot of ways, seeing this team play in those close games, but they're winning them. So I feel like that gives me a little bit more trust as we get into the back half of the season and ideally the playoffs.
Side note, this is in my account. I took the Vikings at 3.5 versus the Cardinals. And there are 3.5s available out there if you look around the rest of the country, so you can still get a 3.5. The sentiment on the Cardinals after, again, like I said, it was the perfect storm for them to, like, have that game like that they looked. And I think a lot of people just look back and they're looking strictly just at the box score and not looking at how those points came. And again, there was pick six, there was short fields, there was turnovers, all different things like that helped out that Cardinals team against, again, a Saints team that was a shell of the team, right? I mean, like, they didn't have Marshawn Lattimore out there. They didn't have any of the starting receivers. Like, so let's pump the brakes a little bit. And the Vikings team here don't always win pretty.
They don't
always win pretty, but they keep on winning. And 3.5, this was an overcorrection. This thing went from 6 to 3.5.
Cardinals are still bad. I'm just going to throw it out there. Cardinals are still bad. Okay.
They still have Cliff on the sideline.
I love this one.
Okay.
The underdog.
Do I love this one?
We're going to the NFC South here. The underdog of the Panthers-Falcons matchup has covered the spread in 4 straight games. The Carolina Panthers getting 5 in Atlanta this week. Can the Christian McCaffrey-less Panthers continue their streak of dominance in the NFC South?
I will tell you this.
Beat a team at the top of the division in the Atlanta Falcons.
This opened at 6, and I thought the Panthers were probably a play at 6. Like, I just didn't have it in me to push the button. But apparently a lot of people did because, I mean, it's 4.5.
And you don't think that's too much, like, belief from an anomaly performance?
I think what we're seeing is there's a pretty decent playbook out on the Falcons team, which is it's a bad defense. They don't pass the ball very well at all. And they were running well when Cordero Patterson was in there. Cordero Patterson gets hurt. The offense wasn't really moving quite as good. The offense hasn't been quite as explosive as it was when he was in there. And I think we're basically just getting a correction here with the Falcons team, which is, look, they're a bad team. They're not good. Like, they're not going to, I don't know from a power rating standpoint how far we're separating the Panthers and the Falcons, really, right? I mean, at 1-32, what? Panthers, well, at this point, I guess the Panthers are probably 32 in mine, but, like, hey, Falcons Panthers are like 27.
Panthers available 18-1 to win the division, only a game out. Just throwing it out there.
That is out there. So do you want to?
That division is just so bad right now.
Having no idea that this division was just going to, like, flip on its head, right? Like, so I will say this, and this is more funny than anything else. So I have 2 different Falcons to win the division tickets from way back in the summer.
It's live.
That is now live.
Yes.
Because it was all but certain Deshaun Watson was going to the Falcons, right? And it was reported on the Twitter machine, all stuff like that. So I run to the book. I'm texting Gil and Kelly and, like, whatever and all stuff. Like, we're running to the book to, like, get this done because it comes through. Deshaun Watson's going to Atlanta, Holy mackerel, you can get 9.5 to 1 on them to win the division right now. Whatever. This is amazing. Boom. We get these tickets in our account. The next day, it comes out that the Browns are going to guarantee the money and he's going to go to Cleveland instead. And he's not going to go to Atlanta. So I'd forgotten that I even had these tickets, like, in my account. And I think it was like 2 weeks ago, we were joking on the show or something like that.
Maybe I need to get it on Atlanta.
Kelly Bidlin, who, if you watch the network, is on the show before us, texts me and goes, you realize you actually already have a Falcons
to win? You have 2, in fact.
He's like, you have 2 of them. I'm like, oh, I do have 2 Falcons to win the division. So Go Falcons is all I can say. Like I got nice fat tickets on them to do this. Yeah, get it done. Let's go, fellas.
That's amazing. That division is a proverbial bleep show.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.